Hi, everybody. It's Georgia Rose from Zencuda. And today is the second in our three-part series of videos about my journey to authenticity and how Zencuda was actually born and started. So Eat, Pray, Love. Remember that movie with Julia Roberts, and she had all this exotic international travel while she found herself and was on the journey to authenticity and self-discovery? Well, my journey was a lot like that, except I didn't have the international travel. So my journey to authenticity and self-discovery, I like to think of it as eat, pray, love. But instead of going to Italy, India, and Bali, I stayed home. And I took a little bit from the buffet of the metaphysical world. And so when I talk about in my last video about how I was becoming very dissatisfied with my life and I was on the fast track and a bit of a workaholic and really had found I was at the point where my dissatisfaction had reached a level where I felt like life was creating me and I was not creating my life. And I think that a lot of us feel that way, just like Julia in Eat, Pray, Love. So things started to fall away in my life then. It was a very reinventive period, but a transitional period, which what happens to all of us when we go through that journey to self-discovery. We realize that a lot of things in our life aren't really ours, aren't our choice, but we've either fallen into them by obligation or just playing a role that really isn't ours. And so this led me to start really seeking deeper meaning. And I started delving into the metaphysical world and spirituality in many different ways. And I always think of it as being a big buffet. And I would just, taste different things and see what resonated with me. And it was really a beautiful time because everything was so new and exciting, just like Julia in Eat, Pray, Love. She was going to all these places. And so I realized that a lot of things that I was thinking about, learning about, they were new, but also some of them hit the mark and made me feel like I was deeply resonating with them and they were valuable to me. And others really didn't. And it was a very interesting time of up and downs. I was still undergoing a lot of transition and a lot of loss in my life, which is what happens to all of us when we're on that journey to self-expression and self-discovery, because we have to make room for that in our lives and that authenticity. So a lot of times it means letting go of attachments that we have. So it was a time when I was really just open to everything and felt so much love in my heart and gratitude for the journey that I was on. And it's really true what they say that when the student is ready, the teacher appears, because all of these people were coming into my life at exactly the right divine timing. And I was learning about Reiki and psychic ability, and my psychic ability completely opened. And I realized that what I had been labeling anxiety in my life really was my connection to other realms and a very large connection and deep connection to source and spirituality. So when we live in a place that's not in alignment with our soul, we feel restricted and we feel uncomfortable. And when we start to realize that and awaken to other things and awaken to a place where we can feel in alignment and feel comfortable with things that really resonate deeply with us, it creates this time where we're really seeking and seeking more of that beautiful feeling of alignment. So as I went through all of these deeply resonating places and meeting all these new people. I did Reiki. I became a Reiki master. I became an IET, integrated energy therapy master. I started doing tarot. And as I said, my psychic ability just completely opened. And mentors would appear with each one of these modalities when the timing was right. And this lasted for several years. And then about 3 years into my journey of self-discovery to authenticity, I stumbled upon astrology. I went to someone for an astrology reading. And out of all the modalities, all of the healing mechanisms that I had tried, and all of the openness I had to so many different types of spirituality, astrology resonated so deeply with me. I found truth there. I found my true self there in the aspects that I found in my chart, in what this person was telling me. This astrologer had so much insight into why a lot of events and direct experiences that I had were happening to me, and that they were really happening for my soul and for my ability to grow and evolve and learn. And it was such a new perception of things that it gave me a deeply meaningful time in my life where I started to seek out my own self-study in astrology and my own chart aspects. And with each one that I learned about and with each one that I studied, I saw a deeper meaning to my life. and I could see the timing of events was really divinely guided. I could also see that certain events really opened me to a deeper wisdom and a deeper and more expanded consciousness. And so that led me on a path of really learning about astrology. And I've been studying astrology now for, I'd say, almost 15 years. And just recently, in the last few years, really delved deeply into the study of evolutionary astrology, which is really about our soul's intention or our soul's purpose in our life. And that's where I found truth. So my journey of eat, pray, love was basically eating and expanding in all the universe has to offer with Jupiter, and finding prayer in the source of Neptune to divinely guide us to connection to other realms. And with that beautiful energy of love that Venus gives us, that shows us what really our value system is and how we preserve that and how we go towards what's really meaningful to us in our life. And so astrology, out of all the modalities on my journey to authenticity and self-discovery, which is still dynamic today, was really the forefront, and the astrology was just so meaningful to me. And astrology is a big part of the Zencuda community, a big part of my videos and my content. But Zencuda is for all of us on the journey of authenticity, on the journey to self-discovery and expanding our lives to more love and joy, no matter what your modality is. I still do Reiki and healing work. I do that with a lot of cancer patients where I volunteer too, because I am a survivor. And oftentimes we'll read their charts, because for me, what I discovered was, as I started to expand my own ability and my own readings, they weren't astrological in the beginning. I was doing tarot readings, and I would ask people for their birth date and time and place, because intuitively it would open me to more energy and the energy of that person. So for me, astrology is a gateway to the soul, and it's been a gateway to my soul. So I strongly urge you all, to at least print out a chart, look at your chart, go to an astrologer, maybe even ask me for a reading, or someone in your local community who is a very, trustworthy astrologer. But delve into that as a way and a path to really find your self-discovery. Because for me, the truth that I found and the self-discovery that I found in astrology was really my very own Eat, Pray, Love. So thank you so much for watching. And next, in my third of the series, I am going to be talking about how I discovered even more wisdom on my journey, and how the seeker becomes the sage. So I hope you'll join me for that. And in the meantime, you can catch me every Monday night at 7 o'clock on the Soul Space podcast and in YouTube's at our Zencuda community. Thanks so much. I'll see you in the third video coming up next.